Hi, how are you guys? I'm MJ, Meredith Jurica with Makeup Junkie. Let me go through my list. I told them, hi, check. Let's see. So I come from North Houston, Texas, and she kind of told you that I had a one-woman show business in my home about 1.5 years ago, just me and a sewing machine and some Hobby Lobby fabric. Before that, I'm a speech pathologist in the education system. Anyone in the education world? So I had quit my job after my husband, Chad, and I had our second daughter. We have 2 little girls. And I was a stay-at-home mom for about 5 months when this bag thing, as we call it, exploded. So I'm just going to kind of tell you a little bit about how it developed, because so many people are like, what? And even some days I'm like, what? So just kind of tell you a little background story about it, and then give you as many tips and tricks for your own businesses as I can. I can't say that it's particularly data-based from a control group, but it worked for me, okay? So without further ado, about 1.5 years ago, I had these bags. I had never intended to have a business. I didn't never know I would have a business. I was just making them because I needed something in my suitcase that would house all my stuff, it wouldn't leak, and it wouldn't take up a bunch of room. Because, you know, especially now that they charge you on the airlines, I'm sure everybody's like, preach, we flew. So I made them for myself, and then people were like, where'd you get that bag? And I'm like, I made it, you know. Really, Susan? You made it? I did. So people locally took notice, wanted me to make them for different things, for birthdays, my mom's birthday, it's my sister's birthday, whatever. So I just kept making them, and then I was like, you know, I'm doing this every day. Maybe I should charge for it. My sister said, put a picture on Facebook. I was like, I'm not going to sell my craft on Facebook. No. Well, I did. And within a month, I had 700 orders through private messenger on Facebook alone. Thank you. Let's see, what does this button do? I don't know. Oh, that's what it does. So basically, how did this happen? I couldn't keep up with production, but I was so flattered that people liked my design. So I met with an accountant who taught me, you have to have an LLC, you have to be a legitimate business, pay sales tax, you have to do it the right way, so if it does grow, you don't get shut down. So that's what I did. My husband, Joe, well, first of all, the man who worked 40+ hours at his real job and then worked till 2 a.m. tasseling bags, ripping seams that I messed up, and shipping, please stand up. Most supportive ever. So I went door to door with my little briefcase to alterations places, dry cleaners, anybody that I knew had a sewing machine in their business. Hi. Do you have anybody that wants to make some extra money? Will you help me make this? Because there's about 400 people that want one, and I got this many hands. So we just kept hiring and hiring. We had 3 ladies in my home, and then we had contractors, and then we had another and another. Then we moved out of my house into a little office. And then in that office condominium, we took over a second, a third, a fourth. Makes me want to cry, as you can see. We employ over 60 people in Texas full-time today. And I'm very proud of that. All of that happened. I did a lot of Facebook posting, not so much ad marketing. I didn't really understand how that worked, so I can't contribute a lot of it to Facebook ads, but people started to take notice. Someone added me to the Hub, and it has been an integral part of my business. I have hundreds of Hub accounts, and other boutiques took notice of that. What is that they have there? What is that? They did a live sale on those bags, and they sold out. I want that for myself. I got hundreds of non-Hub accounts because of what you guys were posting and getting everybody all hyped up out there on your Instagrams and things like that. Other people took notice. USA Today called me. A writer from USA Today said, I bought one of your bags on Facebook because I was like on my couch with a glass of wine, best travel bag ever, you know, and she bought one on Facebook, and her shampoo busted in her suitcase, and it protected her clothing. That's the whole point of the bags, why they're so popular. She goes, those really work in publishing you in the top 10 travel items for USA Today's 10 best list. After that, my phone never stopped ringing. Southern Bride called, best bridesmaid gift feature 2017. All of these wonderful, and after a while you're like, yeah, right, Jake from State Farm, khakis. Where are you, Ashton Kutcher? Where's the camera for the punked show? So a series of wonderful things. But like Brandon said last night, He said 9 out of 10 businesses fail, so he started 10 businesses, right? I love that. I noted that forever in my brain. I don't know where he is, but thank you. I get, for every door that's opened, I get 10 slammed in my face. And when I first started, it would really get to me because those of you who I'm very close with, who are my retailers, I'm passionate and I care what people think. I want everybody to be happy, right? So at first I was like, oh, woe is me. That door sure did not feel good. And now I'm like, okay, we got 6 doors shut. We only have 4 more before we get something, you know? So you have to change your perspective on how you look at it. Things like that. So I literally Googled when I first started, a store wanted my bags, wholesale for dummies. Oh, it's a discount. We sure do. How many do you want? You know, didn't know what I was doing. First time I got my first big franchise and we assumed that you barcode. Hold please. Barcode for dummies. Oh yeah, I'll put those little bars on those little codes. Everything will work out. Now that I understand what being a nationally registered brand is, it's not like barcoding inside your store. You have to barcode yourself nationally so all the stores can recognize you. That was not a fun 36 hours trying to pull that off, but we did it. So I want to recognize some of my team. We have a bunch of MJ girls back at the studio. I have Jen and Jesse right up here in front. Stand up, please. How many of you have seen our photography? Stand up, Jesse, one more time. That's all this girl right here, full-time in-house photography. How many of you have spoken to Jen on the phone? Woo! Just the one. Just the one. So I'm thankful to the Hub for everything. And as far as what I can offer you as a speaker, I wasn't sure. I asked my husband, my best friends, everybody. I don't own a boutique. I'm very close with boutiques. I know how they work. What can I offer these people that is going to help them where they don't feel like, oh, Lord, I'll never get that hour of my life back. Where's the bar? You know? So the customer service is what we are most acclaimed for. Being open for just a little over a year, having over 100 reviews on my Facebook page, because they say, oh, you're brave, you leave your reviews active, over 100 5-star reviews in just a year. I'm very proud of that. And I think it's because when the business first started, the business I didn't know I was ever gonna have, that pursued me, I was so flattered when you make something yourself and somebody wants it and they say it works and that it's great and their customers want it. You're so flattered, you want to roll out the red carpet. Oh my God, that made my day. Can I get you anything? Can I do any? Here, take some free swag, take some this. You know, oh God, you had an issue? I want you to be happy with it. Let me bend over backwards into a pretzel to make you happy. You do that for them one time, and then next time, if you make a mistake, they're cool with it. Girl, you always take care of me, that's okay. We've made some mistakes. We've shipped the wrong boxes to the wrong people, just all kinds of stuff, right? Like they say, how many of you in here have made a mistake? Honey, raise your hand. Making something in Texas is very hard. Yeah, it's very hard. My other vendor manufacturing friends are like, It's very difficult to find people. Sewing is a lost art here in the States. It really is. We've got a great team, a phenomenal team, and I'm very proud of that. I believe that the severity in which we screen our employees, they have to have a great attitude. I don't want to walk away from an interview having any worry that they're going to have a bad day and take it out on our team, or that they're going to treat a customer poorly or bring down the morale of our studio. Seamstresses, shippers, sales associates, everybody works in the same space. It's got to flow together. So I would say to your employees, when you're hiring your first employee, your 10th employee, hold out for the good stuff. Don't just take whoever comes along and then a week later go, oh God, you know, she sits behind the cashier, or whenever somebody walks in, she does this. Hold out for the right fit. The glass slipper will arrive at some point. You know, you might get a Drizella or an Anastasia first, you know, but so. Check. Okay, let's do something fun. While y'all were eating lunch, I put 4 of my business cards under random chairs. Check your chair, the back. You get to cash that in for a free bag at my booth. It's at the back underneath your chair. Woo! There's one over there. Woo! There's one over there. Woo! There's one over there. There's one more. Open that candy bar. Who got the golden ticket? Where is it? Oh, woo! Okay, all 4. Take that business card and go cash it in for a free bag of your choice from the booth. Anything goes, okay? Thank you guys for putting up with me for an hour. My employees wrote notes all over this. Jen is the best. Don't forget to smile. Okay. Marketing. When I started, I had no money. I had just quit my job so that I could stay home with our little girls. My husband and I just lived a regular means like everybody else. I didn't have money for marketing. I had to get creative. And I'm going to share with you some of those things that helped promote my business that maybe I wasn't super excited to do in the beginning, but they helped. Because when you have a shoestring budget, sometimes it's your labor that's the most expensive, the most value that you have is yourself. Nothing in the wallet, everything right here, you know. So, for example, a school fundraiser I did. I went on Facebook and I was like, all the schools in Montgomery County, there's 90 schools. We're in Houston, remember, it's huge. So I said, tag your favorite school. Whoever has the most votes, every single employee will get a $10 gift card. My accountant saw the ad, called me, you're gonna go bankrupt. What are you doing giving away 75 $10 gift cards? I was like, my average price point is $45 to $50. My cost is not even a third of that. I didn't give away all that money. I just got me 75 sales. You see? So in your stores, do creative things like that up front are not what they seem. Spend money to make money. A gift card, you're not really spending money, especially if you do that, and the items they can choose from are like $40 to $50 up. The $10 doesn't hurt so much, and it gets you customers that may come back and back and back. So that's one little trick. Mother's Day, I had a lot of my stores participate in my Mother's Day event where I said, hey, do a Mother's Day giveaway. Say you'll give away a free bag to anyone who purchases a bag from you throughout Mother's Day week, and we will provide the free bag to you to bless with your customer, right? And people are like, you're going to give away your stores each one free bag? And I'm like, yeah, but they all ran the contest, and they all sold out, and they all ordered. All of them ordered. So think about what you're going to give, but don't think about what you're going to give. Think about what you're going to get back, right? So last year, whenever we brought that swag, that $11,000 in swag, oh my God, my husband's like, you are you need to go get your head checked. I don't know what's wrong with you, blah, blah, blah. We got over $50,000 in wholesale sales and orders at the summit because of that. Because of you guys. All of you guys. Today, we have sold 70% of the 2,000 bags that I brought here this morning. So there's about 30% left. So run whenever it opens back up because they're going to disappear. Talking about having people understand how they heard about you. Do interactive Facebook posts. Say, how'd you hear about us? Let's do a contest. Everybody tell me how you heard about us. You know how it goes, the algorithm. The more they comment, the more they comment. But that's also going to tell you, are people hearing about me from word of mouth? Are people hearing about me from Google, from Facebook, from whatever? That's a really good free way to identify where your customers are coming from. Let's talk about copycats. Meow. There are lots of people that feel like other stores copy them, right? I get that too. We've served 10 cease and desist letters. We actually had to stop at a boutique on the way up here and make a little surprise. How you doing? Because they were producing my bags in the back room. And we walked in. They said they took them all off their media because we have a design patent pending. Woo! Always do that. Protect everything. And so we walked in, and lo and behold, there they were, sitting on the table, looking so innocent, looking so knocked off. But you know what? Didn't get me down. I smile. I say, please do what you say you would do. Take them off. If I didn't have a patent, you can make them until you are blue in the face. But don't ride the coattails of what my family's invested, right? Communicate with other stores. You copied my ads. You copied this. I'm not talking to you, coming at you. I just want to talk to you woman to woman, and say, I work hard at that. Can I give you tips? Can I help you create your own essence? Or like I joked at VIP last night, if someone's selling the same jacket as you, here's what you're going to do. You're going to sell a cookie with the jacket. And then they're going to get a jacket and a cookie, and you win. You win. I think we talked about this last night too, as far as something I can offer you for your business, other than my bad jokes. We're giving away free dead batteries over there later, free of charge. So, dead batteries, free of charge? No? What was I going to say? Okay. Yeah, so you have to fine-tune. if the people, how many of you have employees in here? Raise your hand. So many of you have employees, okay? So you love your employees, they're great. Are they paying for themselves? If I told y'all this at the VIP party last night, I look at everybody. If they're not paying for themselves, that's a quick way for your company to go under or lose profits, right? My sales girls, they get a salary. Are the sales you're bringing in every day because you're trying they try everything they can? I get that if they don't get it. But are they trying everything they can to make sure they bring in at least twice as much as what they make? My seamstresses, is your product production level fast enough to where I can bring in 3 times what it costs me to make the bag? You see? Is everybody paying for themselves? Shipping, customer care, sales, everything. Everybody you employ, are you getting out of them what you're putting into them? That's hard, you guys, because my employees are like family. I was just telling some girls at lunch, when you interview for Makeup Junkie, we ask you if you're good with a computer, and then we ask you if you're okay doing a belly bump contest with bubble wrap on Fridays, because that's what happens. So we love our employees, and I've loved many, and they're all still with me. Their success, their productivity rate is important. So that's so hard when you care about somebody, but they're just not bringing to your business what you need to thrive, right? That's really hard. And my best advice would be to communicate as best as you can. It's a lot more cold to rip the Band-Aid off than to sit down, put your hand over someone and say, God, you're like my best friend. I don't want my business to suffer because of this. What do we do? Ask them. Turn the table on them. What do you think we should do? You know, your sales are low, or I got complaints about this. Like, what would you do? Well, help me help you. Help me help you. That kind of thing. One of my weird stories that helped me that is really weird, there was an animal shelter type thing that wanted me to come sell bags in a little table at their, like, where people, like, adopted pets and stuff. And I was like, huh? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, sure, I can donate, like, 10% back. If I look hot, it's because it's really hot up here, just so you guys know. But I was like, oh, a pet rescue, makeup bags. Makes sense. I'm coming, okay? So I go there, and there are so many pet lovers. Who's a pet lover? I know our pets like our babies. You know, we have our real babies, and then we have our pet babies, and I don't think there's any other babies. But I went to this thing and sold maybe 3 bags, and I was there in the heat for 8 hours, unpaid, starving. Anyway, I met the owner, who's a pet lover, for one of the highest-end salons in Houston, who has now purchased $75,000 in wholesale from me. Sometimes the reward does not come. We want to be comfortable. We want to do the fun stuff. We want to do this. But value is not just in what you pay for. Value is in the connections you make. When Ashley said, you never know who you're sitting by in the room, has that ever happened to you? And then, like, you meet, and they're like, I'm so-and-so with so-and-so, and you're like, hang on, let me get a secret selfie, because I know who you are now. Like, the connections that you make with people can take you farther than you would ever think that they can. Don't undervalue anything. Don't undervalue anything, right? When Ashley said, just because something's not a good fit now doesn't mean it's not a fit later. You know, I'm not going to lie to you and say everybody's nice all the time, everything's wonderful. I've had some retailers be kind of nasty to me in the beginning if I was like, can I show you this, whatever. Oh, no. No, we don't. That's like a craft. No, we're not doing that. Guess who came back a year later? I'm so sorry your zip code's taken now. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Would never do that. Never do that. But it just goes to show, never undervalue anybody at any time. Be sweet always. Even if you say no. I say no. I say no with a spoonful of sugar because I value every life that comes into my life. And I think that carries you far. Let's see. Woo! Yeah. As far as being productive, I know there's this fine-tuning you have to do. You can't just sit back and expect sales to come to you, but you can't also pester them and be like the guy at the mall kiosk. Come here, I have lotion for you. Come here, I put it on you. It's going to be so good. You know, you have to, like, fine-tune your salesmanship to where they want to buy from you and you don't annoy the ever-loving love out of them. That's hard. Some of you are probably sitting there like, So a lot of people told me at first, your stuff is too expensive for my store. We go from about $30 to $55. Black Label goes up to $80 for some of our nicer stores that carry, we have that new store that carries Valentino, Tory Burch, all those wonderful brands. We created a private Black Label for them to keep up with what their customer wanted. I also think the stores that are successful, and I encourage all of you to think about that when, I won't buy anything that's this much. I won't sell anything that I can't get this much for. Try it. Buy 2 items. We have a buyback program. If you don't sell it, I'll buy it back. Can't even count on 2 hands how many times we've had to do that. It's wonderful. You want to try me out? I'll protect your investment. That's something we're very proud to offer. And I think when you have a handmade product with a lifetime warranty, raise your hand if you hate returns. Like, hate them. They cost you time. They cost you money. This dress has a rip in it. I bought it last week. Well, Sally, that's because you were clubbing in it on Friday. I'm friends with your mom on Facebook, and quit tagging your mom on stuff, okay? All that happens. I understand what happens when you have to get an item returned. You deal with the headache of the nasty things they may say about the quality of your products, all of that. I get that. And I have the luxury of making things myself in my studio, hot off the press. Where's Whitney Dixon? Whitney Dixon. The queen of, can I get this inside of this with this? She likes to do things her own way. I love that bag, girl. I want cheetah inside, and I want a hot pink zipper. Coming right up. We usually cut it and make it that day, right? That's so cool. So if your customer's bag rips, which I think after selling 40,000 plus bags in the last year, maybe 8 have been returned for quality, we send you a brand new bag to give your customer. Those customer service things, people are like, I would never do that. I would never honor that. I would never do a lifetime warranty. I will be doggoned if that is not what the foundation of my business has been built on. Quality and customer service. It goes a long way, guys. It really does. Think about how you can incorporate all of that into your store. Talk to your vendors. Say, if these rip, what's your policy? Can we work something out? Sometimes they won't refund you, but sometimes they'll send you free product because it's cheaper for a vendor to make a product than it is to give you back cash. Push the envelope, try. Never hurts to ask, okay? My favorite question is, can you look in the back and see if you have this? And I'm like, last time I was back there, there was like 20 pounds of coffee and a half-eaten croissant, but I'm gonna go check for you, okay? And just see what I can find. Here's a little joke. So you work in retail. Oh, that explains the drinking. Okay. I don't know why I inserted some jokes randomly, but it's for you. Enjoy. Let's see here. Okay, I'm like, whatever. Does anyone have any questions for me? Does anybody, oh, yes.
You talked about looking at the productivity of your employees.
Yes.
How do you monitor that? How do you analyze that?
Okay, so I'll just break it down by employees. So I have sales employees. Sales employees get paid X amount salary, which works out to X amount per hour per day. If they are making $100 a day and they're selling $20 a day, that's going to be in the red real quick. I try not to put pressure on them where they feel like, Sally made more than Susan, made more than Jim, but I try to make sure they understand if you are killing yourself trying to sell these and you're not bringing anything in, come talk to me. Tell me what you've tried so I can troubleshoot with you to keep you productive. Because if time goes by and you don't ask for help or we don't fix it, then I'm going to get a report that says, Sally sold $10 this month and we've paid her $5,000. See, so compare the numbers, break it down by hour, by day. See, who's on the floor that day? How much was sold? Look at the other parameters. Well, there was a wine festival that day, so Courtney got lucky. She sold $5,000. Look at everything. Take it all in. Customer service and shipping. If my shipping department is so behind or so unproductive that it is making my customer service phone ring off the hook and they're having to take more time and field more calls, you see that domino effect happens. identify where it's coming from. We got 10 calls today that packages were sent out late, they weren't shipped when they were promised, tracking numbers were wrong. That took customer care away from all of that, and they had no time to do what they're really supposed to be doing. So that's how I kind of gauge that. A seamstress. If I hire a seamstress, they get a 1-week trial. Can you sew? We don't teach you how to sew, we teach you how to make the bag. Can you sew? And then the next week, how many can you sew per hour? They have a quota they have to meet to get paid their salary. I pay them handsomely because without them, I wouldn't be here at all. Seamstresses and retailers, we are 95% wholesale. I started out direct to consumer. 95% of my sales come from you guys, stores in 42 states. Oh, and Australia. Another shrimp on the bobby. So we just got an Australian store. So I look at how many they make per hour, right, and how many bags I can sell a day. If they're getting paid $100 a day, but they're only making $90 worth of bags a day, again, we're in the red. You know, it's not productive. And then you have to have that conversation and have it sooner than later. Don't let it go on over time, because then your bond with them will get deeper and deeper, and it'll be so harder to fix. And you'll look up and say, you know, Courtney was great. If I could have let her go 6 months ago and we could have just remained friends, I probably wouldn't have seen such a dip in my sales. That's not true for everybody. And it's the opposite. Some people are so phenomenal. You're like, what are you doing? You giving away money in these bags? Like, how are you selling it? So I hope I answered your question. Sometimes I go a little bit in the left field. Anyone else have a question? Oh, hello.
Just wait.
Jolie.
Jolie, just
Good.
wait.
How are you?
I know you've got a loud voice, but I'm
So 2 questions for you. The first one is, what would you tell yourself now? What do you wish? The same question that Ashley asked. What do you wish that you would have told yourself, when you started now?
Well, I would have told myself that it's okay if people say no. It's okay if people are not happy, because I used to take it to heart so much more. And now I'm like, you're not happy. Okay, take a number. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I think that don't care so much. Care enough to protect your business. Don't care so much that you're on your couch crying because somebody was unhappy with you that day. You can't please everybody. You know how I know this? I killed myself trying to please everybody. It still didn't work. You know? And the ones I do please, you're welcome. So,
Good.
yeah.
And my second is, how do you balance your personal and your business life? Or are you doing that?
That was a transformation of sorts. When we first started, and I was the only one sewing, and Chad's mom, who taught me how to sew and gave me her old machine that I started on, she came to help me, and there was a lot of tears. There was a lot of, wine and sewing and stuff. And it was hard. We had a transition period where we were like, oh man, this is, like, everybody wants our stuff. This is the pits, though. We're up till 2 a.m. every night. We have little babies. We're tired. And so when I started with my employees, Jennifer Heaton, you can stand up again just because I'll give them something else to look at, started the first employee to start with me in my home, stepping over my dirty laundry, my kids' toys. She's like, your floor is sticky. Where do you want me to put this fabric? And I'm like, Anyway, we've evolved, and I remember taking her to dinner, at like Chili's, real fancy one night, and telling her, man, this could be cool. I hope it grows. If it does, I'll give you your own office one day. The day she got her own office, her gorgeous office, I was more proud than anything to make a difference in somebody else's life like that. Oh, God, what a hot mess I am up here. Some mistakes I've made that are kind of funny. You know how I told you I didn't know what retail and wholesale was? When I first started in my house, I was buying fabric from craft stores and then online, full retail pricing. I'm a wholesaler. I was buying my materials retail. And then I've never really been out of Texas, so I told my husband, I'm going to California. And I went to the big fabric show, and now I source from India and China and all these wonderful places, and America. We have a lot of made in America fabrics. Some of my velvets you see over there from a wonderful place in Minneapolis. So very proud of that. But I bought my materials retail for a long time, and then I went to a fabric show and saw my same fabrics for less than half the price. And I was like, oh, that doesn't feel very good. Could have been in Cancun, but we're still in Houston, So anyway, any other questions? Concerns, violent reactions. I encourage you, if you want to try my product, don't want to be a mall kiosk guy. Try me out. Try me on for size. If it doesn't sell, we'll take it back. There's a lot of people that need it.
I don't have a question, but I have something funny.
One second.
When I went to the summit last year and I came home with my swag, my husband, who's an artist, so he carries like paints and things that spill and make a mess, he tried to steal it. And he said to me this year, he's like, maybe I can get one. So I'm hoping that you have something that might be, perfect for him, that I'm going to bring it home for him. Yes. But I think that was kind of neat because I loved it enough that I was like, you can't have it.
Yeah, don't touch my swag.
Right. So I was excited. Yeah. That was something we talked about on the way here. So.
They're very functional. My husband, he started using them because he doesn't like to check a bag. It's expensive. He likes to take a carry-on, and they pack completely flat. In case you're like, wait a minute, who are you? Oh, sorry. We're Makeup Junkie Bags. We have storage travel toiletry bags and cosmetic bags. I didn't even tell you what I sell. Oh, that's awkward. But I made him a leather one, a flat one, to put in his carry-on, and he's like, it's in the bottom, it takes up no space, this is genius. And you can't have a man junkie bag, so I have a men's line now called Man Junk. Chad was like, you cannot name it Man Junk, and I'm like, I'm doing it, right? So we have our Man Junk copyrighted. Oh, no. So... Yes. Oh, yeah. They're not just for makeup. Medication, the large, your tablet, your chargers, your earbuds, everything you travel with, they're multifunctional. We went to our first Dallas market here in January at Apparel Market, and a buyer said, why Makeup Junkie? They do so many other things. And I'm like, do you really think if I knew what would happen in a year, maybe I'd have rethought that branding? But it's too late now, and this year is full of so many irons in the fire, so many wonderful opportunities that we can't talk about. But Chad and I are going to Los Angeles next week. We've been given a wonderful opportunity to do something that we can't talk about. But I really appreciate you guys listening and, making me feel not so awkward up here. Any other questions? We still have about 9 minutes left. Can dance, can tell jokes. Huh? Do a hair flip. Oh no, that could end badly. I can't do that. Any other questions? That wasn't a very good one. Lizzie German, that was you. I know it. Anybody else? All right. Oh, yes. Oh, thank God. It's a little weird up here when nobody...
So my question is, actually, I had a previous boyfriend that did not support any of what I do now, but now I do. So do you have any advice to anybody that might be going through that? That's saying like, oh yeah, well, my boyfriend doesn't support it. Well, yes. Or husband.
Yes, I do. I have a very supportive husband. That doesn't mean from the get-go he was just sitting there with, a butler's tourniquet on his arm going, what can I do for you, ma'am? At first with such a tight budget, meager means, we were barely scraping by when I quit my job, So it was like, oh God, more fabric, more this. I think if you do something small at first and show the interest you get from it, instead of diving in head first, investing your whole life savings, like if any of you want to branch out and do something wholesale, you want to start making shirts, or all the vendors are like, don't say shoes or headbands or t-shirts, we're over here. But if you want to do that, do it small first. Like I said, out of my home, see what the reaction is and base how much you put into it on the initial reaction of the smaller investment, because that will put less strain on you and your partner versus going to your partner and saying, hey, look, I want to take out a loan against our mortgage. I want to do this and that because I just know this might be great. Make sure you have some data to show it'll be great first. Like whenever I do a new line, like I don't know if y'all heard about my jewelry bag line that's coming out. They're pretty stellar though. We did a small test market. We did 50 bags, disappeared in about 4 minutes, right? So now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take the time to train people to do that. In the beginning, as long as I made back what we put in and then dumped that back in, we didn't take a paycheck for almost a year. It was all cash-based, no loans, no lines of credit, no nothing. Just a little tiny nest egg. You have to be patient if you want to do it debt-free. I don't know how we got into a conversation about finances, but I feel like arguing with your spouse is about finances too, right? So I think we put in what we made, and then we put that back in. And then I bought another. I could have taken that $1,400, No, I bought another industrial machine and hired Susan, all this kind of stuff. So we put the money back in. That way we could grow it with our little nest egg versus reaching from other places. So no matter how big we got, I was still running off that initial little nest egg that we had agreed I could, which was $5,000 to start Makeup Junkie Bags. Money that man had tucked away to get a new truck because his truck was bad, y'all. I was like, I need to go to the store, but I'm afraid I won't get home. I'll just take my own car. So I would say talk to them deeply about how passionate you are. Communicate heavily what it means to you versus just, I want to do this and I'm going to do this. Tell them why you want to do that. Show them that you can be successful at first, and then I think the faith just follows like dominoes. I hope that was a good answer. I'm not even sure what I just said. So. Anybody else? No?
One more.
Okay.
Hi. Do you have any tips on balancing? Standing. Where are you? On balancing home life and your business, aka being a mom?
Yes, I definitely do. I miss my little girls right now. They are a big part of what we do every day. There's no way they couldn't be if they weren't, like what Laura said on panel this morning about how her kids go to LA and they're like, how do you do that? Don't get me wrong, the kid-free time is great, but there's also a ton of kid-incorporated time. Sit on mommy's rug and y'all sort the tassels by color. Y'all do this, bring this. Anything we can take them to, we do, because you all are business owners. You know how much of your time it takes. If you didn't incorporate your kids on some level, you would never see your children. And you'd be spending all of your money, all of your profits paying somebody to watch them, which we do half the time, but we try to keep them with us at least part-time. So I would say try to incorporate your kids as much as you can, as long as it's not super detrimental to your business, and communicate with your spouse everything that's going on. Because if I come home from the office and I'm kind of in a poor mood and not interacting a lot, it's different than whenever I call him on the way and say, oh God, we had a really bad day. A machine broke down, we're backed up on orders, whatever. Communication is important to keep that relationship, because I think owning a business and the stress of knowing the success of it, paying all the, it's not just us. We're fine. We'll live in our house and sew. I have employees that feed their families with this. That's heavy. That is so heavy, right? And I'm like, I don't care what we have to do. If sales drop, I'll put a table outside the Kroger and have a 2-for-1. This company will not suffer, So I think that, again, did I answer your question? Okay, she gave me a thumbs up. Was that the middle finger or the thumb? I don't. Okay, we're good. Thank you, guys.